So Fox News is in the middle of another sexual harassment scandal after a damning new report by the New York Times. According to the Times, Fox News renewed Bill O'Reilly's contract in January, despite knowing that he settled with a Fox News legal analyst over claims that he repeatedly sexually harassed her, including sending her sexually explicit material. $32 million. That's the amount the New York Times reports Bill O'Reilly paid to longtime Fox News legal analyst Lise Wheel. According to the Times, Wheel threatened to sue O'Reilly for alleged sexual misconduct. A month later, Fox News renewed O'Reilly's contract for $25 million a year. The contract included protections allowing Fox to dismiss him in the event of new allegations, protections the company used just 2 months later, after the Times revealed the existence of other settlements with women who had accused O'Reilly of sexual harassment or verbal abuse. Now, here's what O'Reilly told NBC News about the sexual allegations against him just last month.
My conscience is clear. What I have done is organized a legal team to get the truth to the American people. I can go to sleep at night very well, knowing that I never mistreated anyone on my watch in 42 years.
The $32 million payout to Wheel is far higher than any of the previously known settlements. The New York Times expose comes at a time when O'Reilly is actively seeking a new TV commentary job, meaning he could be challenging Fox. His camp believes the leaks about the Wheel settlement might be coming from Fox to hurt him. An O'Reilly spokesman writes, "The Times printed leaked information provided by anonymous sources that is out of context, false, defamatory, and obviously designed to embarrass Bill O'Reilly and to keep him from competing in the marketplace."
All right, let's discuss this. And for that, we bring in B.J. Bernstein, former prosecutor and criminal defense attorney, and Bill Carter, CNN media analyst. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
Good morning.
Couple of quick questions, Bill. Stand by, because these are for B.J. first. B.J., this is not, of course, the first accusation, nor is it the first settlement for Mr. O'Reilly. How much legal trouble does Fox News face for renewing O'Reilly's contract in the middle of this huge sexual assault settlement? They knew what was going on.
Well, it certainly affects, particularly after Weinstein now, another look at the industry, whether it's entertainment or television news or go any other corporate boardroom, as to what, are you going to sweep things under the rug in order to protect people who work for you because they make you a lot of money? This changes the dialogue because there's going to be pressure for all companies to take a look at things and say, wait a minute, we can't have this person back just because they have a settlement.
And this brings us to Gretchen Carlson, because she too sued the former chairman, Roger Ailes, Fox News, and she has, of course, all alleged that this was all due to sexual harassment. That was in July of 2016. And she put out a statement. I'll just read that to you first. And she says this: "It is horrifying to think that any company would dismiss an employee following multiple allegations of sexual harassment and then allow him back on the air a few months later." So again, BJ, the question here is, Fox knew what was going on. They renew his contract, and yet the message to all other employees there at the network is that, well, hey, the network says it's okay. They seem to condone it.
Exactly. That's where the problem is. I think Gretchen's gone right to the heart of the point, and more concerning to Fox is the pending federal investigation right now with regard to looking at them, how they've handled sexual harassment and what they've done in the workplace. That's still an open investigation from all reports. So this does not help Fox in terms of how they handled and choosing dollars and viewers versus the safety of the workplace.
Bill, so what do you think the fallout's going to be for this network? And what I mean by that is, of course, they appeal to a very conservative audience. This would seem to go against all of those beliefs for conservative families in general. What's the fallout?
Well, usually when these things have happened with Fox, their audience dismissed them as, attacks on the unfair attacks on conservatives, and that's certainly Bill O'Reilly's trying to take that tack. You do have to wonder about the accumulation of these facts and whether or not now there's very little reason to doubt that all of this went on. I mean, I think Fox is particularly vulnerable because they were trying to make a big deal in England for their B Sky B investment, and that's been roadblocked a couple of times because of these scandals, and now they have another one where it looks as though they simply didn't ask him what his settlement was about, and went ahead and re-signed him for this enormous contract because, let's face it, he was the biggest ratings getter, and they didn't want to lose him, and they didn't want to suffer the same kind of negative effect with their audience by saying, well, we don't want this guy on anymore. He was the most popular guy they had.
Well, does this seem to affect their audience? Does it seem to impact their ratings negatively or their income?
No, in fact, most of the time, nothing has affected their audience. None of the scandals with Ailes seem to affect their audience. You can argue that the conservative audience kind of wears blinders with regard to facts that come in from, alternative sources. They don't believe them. Most Fox viewers watch Fox exclusively. They watch it all day long. They don't watch anything else. And information that comes in that gets dismissed, they tend to think is, not real. Well, they call it fake news, even though it's now, as I said, an enormous pile of information. You would think at some point the facts creep in. But I think it's going to be interesting to see long term now whether or not a guy like O'Reilly can ever come back. Can another network hire him? After all of this, I mean, it seems like when you have 6 or 7 women coming forward, it's no longer in doubt.
Well, and it's not so much just about O'Reilly, it's about a network overall. But BJ, let me bring you back to 21st Century Fox. This is the parent company. They issued a statement to the New York Times saying that it was not aware of the amount of O'Reilly's settlement and described it as a personal issue between O'Reilly and his accuser. But does 21st Century Fox bear any responsibility in this scandal?
It depends. I mean, it is completely viable that the lawyers in this case, the stories are that are coming out with regard to settlements is that Bill O'Reilly personally settled and handled the matter without a filing of a lawsuit here. This was a draft complaint. Remember, the complainant was a legal analyst, and so apparently there was a draft complaint that was never filed in court. So it is possible that that was something not known to Fox because it's not like it was a matter of public record, a lawsuit that you could read online.
$32 million, though you would have thought it would have raised somebody's eyebrow.
Well, again, though, most of these settlements are confidential. I know from handling a number of cases, there's always confidentiality clauses in payments, and that's part of the other pushback that was happening overnight from O'Reilly's side, denying essentially denying the amount, or that they don't know what they're talking about in terms of what the Times saying.
All right, B.J. Bernstein, thank you very much. Nice to see you again. Bill Carter, we appreciate it as well. Thank you both.
Thank you.